And a member of the board of directors for Beretta USA. I'm also the president of Stoger Industries and secretary for Beretta USA. These are all three companies that are located in Maryland, and collectively we employ about 400 people in the state. We have paid about $31 million in taxes over the last 10 years, and we've invested about $75 million in the state of Maryland within the same 10 years. So we're a substantial economic force in this state. We have, over the years since 1977, when Beretta USA was established, we've employed thousands of people in southern Maryland. At one point, we were the second largest private employer in the state, and there's almost no family in all of southern Maryland that hasn't either benefited by the income they receive from us or the insurance benefits we provided. We've shown our dedication to the state of Maryland, and it's the Beretta tradition to invest in the community and stay there. The Beretta family and the Beretta company in northern Italy has been in the same small town for 500 years and would like to do the same here. But what we find now is yet another effort by the state government. Fortunately, recent ones have failed, but another effort to tell us we don't like the types of products you make. The types of so-called assault rifles, which we call modern sporting rifles, that are at stake in this bill, the magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, the semi-automatic shotguns that are described in House Bill 294 are all products that we make, and they're all products that we sell. To give you an example, Benelli has 4 different types of turkey-grade guns that have camouflage used by turkey hunters, all of which would be banned by this legislation. Beretta USA has a couple of different rifles that would be banned, and probably 60 to 70% of the handguns that we make include magazines that have more than 10-round capacity. What has happened as a consequence of this legislative effort, which admittedly started on the Senate side, is that now the Berettas are rethinking their desire to stay in the state. They don't want to do that. Nobody in the Beretta family and nobody in our companies want to leave the state of Maryland. For one reason, because the average tenure of our employees in our factories and facilities is about 15 years. These are people we care about. They're part of our lives. We're part of their lives. The other reason is because we have a facility, we have substantial investment to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars since we started in 1977, and to pick that up and move it to another state is problematic. But House Bill 294 sends a clear message to us that certainly the governor's office, and hopefully not the legislature, do not like the types of products that we make. It also suggests that the people who buy them are engaged in borderline criminal activity or to be suspected, and that again sends a negative message to us. Mr. Chairman, I know that you're short for time. I have a longer version of my written testimony, and I wanted to restrict my comments to the House bill, but I also took the liberty of analyzing the amendments that were made in the Senate bill, and I've submitted those as a supplement for the record. But I'd like to mention 2 things very quickly from that. One is the Senate bill, as it's been modified, would create a 3-year prison term for a firearm dealer that has 2 paperwork errors when they're audited by the state police. First paperwork error, you get a $1,000 fine. Second one, you can get up to 3 years in prison and a $10,000 fine, or both. That, to me, is absolutely stunning, and I think either the intent or the effect of that will be to drive every firearm dealer out of the state. I need to point out also that in order to sell firearms and to manufacture firearms in Maryland, Beretta USA, Benelli USA, and Stoger have to be licensed as Maryland dealers. So we're subject to the same two strikes and you're out penalty, with the exception that in the case of Beretta USA, we have literally millions of pages of documentation relating to firearms transactions because of the quantum that we import, manufacture, and sell. So the risk to our company is absolutely staggering from that. Second thing I'd like to point out, and again this is in my written supplement, is that the bill as amended would prohibit us from bringing into the state high-capacity magazines or from keeping in inventory within the state the types of shotguns and rifles that we now manufacture or import. So we'd have to move all of those operations out of the state. It's not, in that case, a question of whether we want to or not. We wouldn't have a choice. So in summary, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I appreciate the time you've given me to testify here. This is an extremely serious issue for my companies. You do not see Beretta USA and our collective companies testifying every year when we have issues of this type. This issue is literally a matter of life and death for our organization, and for that reason, I ask that you vote no on HB 294.